Hello and welcome to a vintage cube draft here on Magic Online. I am Bill Clodsey and I'll be going through this. No power yet. This is a powered cube and this is a single elimination draft. So just like you're sitting down with 7 people, these are the people you're playing against, and any card you snag is one you won't have to play against. A fairly weak pack. I like Rakdos Signet, but not as a first pick. It might be the best card here. Mother of Runes is another option, and Toxic Deluge is a solid control card. I don't like to take the big finishers because there's a ton of them. They all kind of do the same thing. I'd rather get the pieces that you want more of, and they're more important for the deck. So here it's just between the Signet and Mother of Runes, and I'm going to go with Mother of Runes. It goes into a couple decks. A little regret, but this whole pack's a lot better. One of my favorite cards in Cube is Ashiok. It's just a cheap planeswalker that will win on its own, and it's pretty difficult to kill, even if it takes a while. That could be the pick. Fast Bond has some neat combos with Crucible, Strip Bind, things like that. Yeah, Crucible's just good with fetch lands and whatever. Gaia's Cradle is another good one. And Entomb. These are all pieces of great decks, but Ashiok, just a win condition in its own right. Ashiok, and that means we want to be in black-blue so we can get this thing out as early as possible. Or we can head back into white for Brimaz, another good one in the aggressive deck. Or maybe just Looter Ilkor here, a tough one, because Ashiok doesn't work super well with any of the cards we see in this pack, but yeah, what is the most powerful card here? I hate how Planeswalkers just don't appear, and Eldrazi are similar. Yeah, I'll go for Looter Ilkor here. It's nothing fancy, but it supports Ashiok well enough. Eureka's a fun one. Eureka, then a lot of big stuff. If we took Gaia's Cradle, Eureka is definitely a follow-up to that. I like the free win nature of Hymn to Turok, though. 2 mana, take their best 2 cards with some probability. So that's it. This is Powered Cube. Repeal gets a lot better as a 1 mana answer to Moxes and things, or just draw a card. So that's definitely, well, not really an answer, but certainly a play. Yeah, I might just take that here. Nothing else super exciting. The swords tend to do well on the Looter because it has shadow, hard to block. But Sword of Light and Shadow is not the most exciting one. So I'll go for Repeal here. Leovold. Leovold and Orzhov's Signet. Leovold's kind of a neat storm card. You can't be targeted by your opponent's stuff as easily. Maybe that won't matter so much, but it's a pretty neat card all in all. Get that green into there somehow. Sure, I'll take Leovold out of this pack. It's one I don't have a lot of experience with in Cube and could definitely be strong. And to clear the way for our threats, so far our good 3 mana threats, Duress. A lot of targets in this cube, and here's a nice sword of Fire and Ice. The shock and draw is a nice combination on this, and it has protection from incredibly relevant colors. Oh, maybe it's not the pick though here over Golgari Signet, which can let us cast Leovold a little more frequently. And we only have a couple creatures here. I'm going to go with the Signet over Sword of Fire and Ice. That looks really weird, but I think it's right. Toxic Deluge Wheels. Our little control deck got a nice boost from that. Sorceress Spyglass is another really powerful one, and it's twice as expensive as a Pithing Needle, but a similar effect, and you just get to see their hand. You know what's coming up. In a singleton format, that can be really helpful, where you can't just guess what planeswalker they happen to have. Alright, Sword of War and Peace. Maybe it's time to start taking these. This one doesn't have any real card advantage. It just deals more damage, and it gains more life based on the cards in hand. And the other two cards are Arid Mesa and Quagmire. The creature lands, I don't like those. They're a bit slow for this quick format, more of controlling cards. And the fetch doesn't help with either any of our three colors. So get rid of it, get it out of here. Caryatid, sure. Not sure how heavy green will be, but it's an option, and it's late in the pack. Nothing here for us. Another sword, and a Bring to Light, which gets creatures, instant, and sorceries. And it's in our colors, yeah. Forget light and shadow. Maybe all the swords are wheeling. I doubt the Fire and Ice will wheel, though. I don't even know if it's possible. Edric. Does Edric do anything here? Not yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. Maybe we go into a heavier blue-green deck. Jace can be a nice pickup. Not necessarily in a reanimation deck, although that's another super powerful one. And you can just splash this in any deck because you get your opponent's creatures too. Bring to Light can do some good stuff with that. We even have one target here, the Sphinx. But I'd rather just be control, and Jace is just the perfect control card. Crucible, there goes our Fast Bond combo. So maybe that's not it this time. Crucible, Strip Mine stuff, but Baleful Strix, that's just going to be a good way to protect Ashiok and Jace. Draw card. So I'll grab that here. Death Touch gets it done. Bribery and Demir's Signet jump out in this pack as some of the best. Thoughtseize is fine. But Bribery, I mean, this is such a powerful format. Your opponents are playing Blightsteel, Colossi, and Emrakul's, Progenitus's, whatever. You get to 5 mana. You get to play their 15 mana card or 8 mana card. It is absurd. And stop them from drawing it for the rest of the game. Yeah, definitely Bribery here. And that's one of the the fun parts about being in Cube is cards like that. Well, at least fun for you when you're doing it. Catacombs is a gift here, if we're really branching into green. Fatal Push. Yeah, the removal is just not as exciting in a cube where there's not much to remove, or the best stuff is just so hard to remove in the first place. So like Toxic Deluge at least has the ability to kill 2 creatures or 10 creatures or like 1,000,000 tokens. But Fatal Push, what's this killing? An elf? And that can be good, but not every deck is playing elves. And by that I just mean early creatures. Great. Simic Signet. Chrome Mox can lead to some busted early plays just like any Mox, but the Signet is going to be better for our deck. It really helps fix the mana more reliably. Like Chrome Mox doesn't usually have the ability of fixing your splash color because you have to exile a card of that color, and you won't always have 2. Watery Grave, Blightsteel Colossus without many ways to get that into play. You can't Bribery your own deck. So yeah, Watery Grave here just finds blue off of our Catacombs, and that's important for us. Progenitus, not for us. Reclamation Sage, very good in Cube, Legacy, or Vintage, or otherwise. But you'd rather be a green deck that can tutor it up somehow. Progenitus is a fun one. This is like a good natural order card. Not a good reanimation target because it never hits the graveyard. Animate Dead, I think we'll just hedge with that. I mean, these effects are nice because they get creatures from either yours or your opponent's graveyard. So sometimes you just count on them having something to do with it. Maze of Ith, oh god, I love this card. If they have one big unbeatable threat, well, all of a sudden you negate it. Hopefully it's not an Eldrazi, because it still gets its attack trigger. But I do like a Maze of Ith. Maybe we'll pick up an Urborg, so here it is. So we don't have to limit this to just being a maze. It doesn't tap for mana. It's one of the few lands printed that doesn't tap for mana. I guess there's a bunch of them, but relatively few. Otherwise, it's Skull Clamp, which is very good, but we're not really a Skull Clamp deck. We have two things that do die to Skull Clamp, so a good card draw engine, but it's too good not to pick Urborg here. Bazaar. Here's another one that doesn't tap for mana. They tried just not printing these anymore because they're confusing, but it won't be that confusing if we're the ones with Urborg. Signet is perfect. That kind of completes our cycle of Sultai Signets. Say that 17 times fast. Okay. Awakening Zone. And that's the only real card here. Fauna Shaman. I guess maybe that's better, but I don't really want to play so much green. Inkwell Leviathan. Perfect. This is a good reanimation target. Maybe we'll have a way to discard it. Luteral Core is one way. Otherwise, we could just ramp up to 9 mana. I mean, it's not too crazy. It's too bad it has Shroud because it's pretty hard to block, and it'd be nice to put a sword on it, but yeah, pretty difficult to get a sword on a Leviathan. Not impossible, but not easy. The Rider's last pick. Here we go. There's technically 9 pieces of power, the power 9, but Time Twister doesn't really count. It's a good card, but it doesn't really go into every deck like the other power 9. Even if you're not playing blue, use Splash to play the blue pieces of power. But Soul Ring is on that power level with the Moxes and Black Lotus in Cube. The difference being it doesn't cost an arm and a leg in real life, but in Cube you're just trying to win and you don't get to keep the cards anyway. So this is a slam dunk bomb here, even though it doesn't help fix our mana at all. That doesn't even matter. Turn 1, Soul Ring Signet. Turn 2, you have like 8 mana or something. So we'll just take that. Kozilek, I love these Eldrazi. Wormcoil might be a little more on our budget for mana because we can ramp out a pretty quick Wormcoil engine. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's almost a turn 2 Wormcoil off a Soul Ring Signet. But that's pretty good. Shield Dread and Kozilek are both interesting here. Dynamo, I don't want too much colorless ramp. But yeah, let's get that. Ooh, here is a nice one called Opposition. But for the same reason the little Brain Dagger or whatever thing it's called was bad, this is going to be bad too. Yeah, we just don't have enough creatures to make it work. Workshop might be something we could do here. We're approaching a critical mass of artifacts, including Inkwell Leviathan, Wormcoil Engine, Soul Ring, all this stuff. A sword is so easy to put out with a workshop. I'm going to take it here, and it is the last pack, and passing my favorite Gitaxian Probe, but yeah, I mean, Urborg does let it tap for mana, and we could still pick up a few more artifacts if we get them. Azorius Signet. We don't need any more Signets necessarily. Maybe just Scalding Tarn because it helps fix for black and blue here. Yeah, weak pack overall for us. Inquisition is fine too, but it's not something I'll jump out of my way to get. We already have a Duress. Thoughtseize is kind of the best version of it, but Duress is good enough. It's a little sad that we have another artifact here, but it never gets helped by the workshop. An artifact-themed card coming up here, the Tesserator. The Tezzeret itself. This can just animate your signets, and then I don't want to go all in on this. Demonic Tutor just is going to be what we need. Demonic for bribery, or the sword if we need it, or just anything. And it's pretty cheap to get this going. You can even get lands off it. So nothing bad to say about the Tutor. Jite. One problem, or one drawback to the workshop, one limitation of it anyway, is that you can't activate abilities of artifacts, so you can't help equip the Jite with the workshop, but it'll still probably be good enough here. I also like a Shelldock Isle. We only have like 2 or 3 really good targets off the Shelldock Isle. Otherwise, we're not getting much of a discount. But the Jite is perfect here. It's another thing we can cast with workshop. No complaints. Show and tell. I mean, it's risky because most opponents are doing something cool. And it's also risky that we just don't have something good in our hand. Demonic Tutor helps that out a little bit, but I mean, that only improves our chances by like, 50% there. Nothing much else to take. Verdant Catacombs already gets blue. We could take a Tropical Island just for fun. No, wait, Tropical Island is in our colors. Oh, what am I thinking? Yeah, we'll take that. Definitely. I'm like, it's only in 2 out of our 3 colors, so it's not completely there, but I just forgot we were green. I mean, we're barely green, but shoot, I'll take it. All right, Creeping Tar Pit. Maybe at this point we can use this as a win condition. Force Spike. I do like a Force Spike. I also like Winter Orb. With all of our fast mana, this is going to be a good deck for Winter Orb, definitely. Oh yeah, let's do it. Maybe even Coercive Portal. Bone Shredder is fine. But the Portal draws us 2 cards a turn and is fast to get out with our acceleration. Shardless Agent, perfect. This is the kind of thing we could spend like 1 extra mana from our workshop and then 2 mana and then get a Shardless Agent and a Signet on the same turn. Yeah. Vraska's another interesting one. But yeah, maybe Vraska's better here. I do like Vraska. All right, I'll take Vraska here. I think it's the only version of Vraska left in the cube. I wouldn't fault you for taking the other one there, but I do want to try Vraska out, and we don't have much late game power. Vraska does deal with pretty much everything. Iona, the Mire. Again, it just gets Watery Grave, and maybe that's good enough. Well, it also gets basic Swamp. So if it can't get the Watery Grave, it means we already have one in play or exiled somehow. So we'll just need a Swamp. Cool. How many cuts do we need? We have a lot of lands here. So maybe not that many cuts. This is 24 with just a ton of other acceleration. This might count for like 2.5 lands total here. So 16, 18 and a half if we stopped here. And that sounds about right. We have some card draw. We do need to hit our first land drop or 2. And we can always loot away or draw extra cards from I don't know, weird effects. Yeah. 16 lands. Yeah, that's about right. And with the fetches, our Jace is going to get better because of its Brainstorm. You put cards back on the top and then shuffle. What colors aren't we playing? Sphinx of the Steel Wind, is that worth a look? I wasn't really thinking about that during this draft, but it is something we could potentially cast. Maybe we should have looked out for another white source, because it's not very easy to cast as it is. Vraska can help make different colors, but none of our signets dip into white. We don't really need it. Sorry, Sphinx. And none of our fetches help get white, so yeah, it's a cool idea, but ultimately not gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Yeah, this looks good. Also, Maze of Ith doesn't add the color, but sometimes it does, so I think we just go like 15 lands, plus all this stuff, and a Maze of Ith. And that should do it. I'm sure the colors will be fine, because we already have 2 more sources of each color from the signets. A lot of colorless spells that we need to cast. Let's just do a little counting here. It's always fun to build these mana bases. 9, 9, 8, 3. So if we need more than one forest, I'll be surprised. Let's start there. 9, 8, 3, so pretty much the same between black and blue. Alright, Creeping Tar Pit and Watery Grave get in there. Verdant for black, Urborg for black. Workshop and Maze of Ith, those can just come in 1 and 1, and this deck does not need Bazaar. Activating it is just so difficult to do. If it added a colorless mana, you could put it in just about any deck in case you're really flooded and you want to do some hyper looting, the technical term for it. Tropical Island. So how many ways do we actually have of getting green? I guess it's 6. Oh gosh, that's really plenty. 6 ways of getting green. The Mire doesn't get it. It just doesn't get it. And then we have a lot of blue, just a ton of blue. And a ton of black. I mean, this is an exact science here, for sure. But I trust the method. It's pretty even between black and blue, and it's more than enough green, and to have any less green, we'd take out a basic forest, so that there's no need to do that. Awesome. Mostly an artifact, ramp, control, hybrid. It's a cube deck. This is a cube deck. Round 1 versus MWatts 10. It's cube, just basically always be on the play. And what a hand. This will go down to 18 life, duress them, turn 2 Corrosive Portal. Pay the life. If we had another black source, I just wouldn't bother, but see what we have here. Shut down their Black Lotus, turn 1 win here. Well, they do have a Mox Ruby, but it looks like Library's a nice one too. It looks like we really want to get rid of Recurring Nightmare, so we just never have to deal with that again. Black can get creatures back from the graveyard, but it's not the easiest for them to get back an enchantment. Whoops, what am I doing here? Nothing, don't mind me. Library, and that puts them below 7 for a turn. Cool, Corrosive Portal. And we have to vote on each upkeep. Usually that results in you drawing a card, but if for some reason you both vote for Carnage, it destroys all non-land permanents. So they are getting their draws here. Maybe they'll set up a tutor, and we always yield to this. And I think we should just always vote for Homage, and they'll always vote for Carnage. Give me homage. Pay me tribute. Okay, well, that was an exciting start, but now we just have to draw something else to do. And it'll be quick. Drawing 2 cards a turn is just an incredible boost over 1 card a turn compared to your, well, they're getting 2 cards a turn too, aren't they? But I feel like I'm getting mine more easily. Turn 2 Corrosive Portal, and they had a turn 2 Library Activation, which also uses up one of their lands. Fair enough that we can't use one of our lands for half the cards in our deck. And we can't see what they got, but here's Mox Ruby. They've played 2 of those. Oh no! Gonti. Gonti is so annoying to play against. It's like bribery. It's a 4-mana bribery that leaves back a 2/3 Death Touch. Not quite that good, but it's comparable to the power level of bribery, for sure. There's our card that we can't see. The other 3 are on the bottom in a random order, so that's a fun one to enforce. Randomize these 3 cards. It's like that ball and cup game. It's like, nope, I still can track that one. That's the island. Always yield to this. I think I F3'd, and we want homage. Ooh, there we go. Wormcoil Engine. We can cast that. And we will. Not much else to do here, honestly. Great. Death Touch Gonti versus Death Touch Wormcoil Engine. I know whose side I want to be on. Definitely Gonti's side because of this card. The best card from our top 4. At least it wasn't the best card from our top 5, because that might have been a Wormcoil. I mean, there is a Force of Will in the format. Doesn't look likely that they have it. They would have needed to draw blue card and Force of Will. Cool. We can also kind of get by Gonti if we really need to with Toxic Deluge. Gain the 3 life back. But I don't have a problem trading with it. We get our 2 tokens. No! Don't we have bribery in our deck? Did I miss taking bribery? What did I take over bribery? Did I not see bribery? Oh, give me a break. I felt like I talked for ages about how good bribery was. Oh, we did take it. That was Gonti. That was our bribery. Oh, I can't believe it. Let's vote for Carnage here. And that'll kill our Inkwell Leviathan. I got pretty confused there. That's alright. And they don't want us to do it. Well, fair enough. Shoot. Well, shucks. We have an interesting little play here, though. We can... What can we do? We can almost do it all, but instead we can do a little bit, which is called Toxic Deluge for 11. Toxic Deluge for 11. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. Yikes. If only we had 1 more mana. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, casual 11 kills everything, but we do get our 2 little Wormcoil things back, and any order is fine. And I guess we'll just use the mana as we can. But equipping is not a spell, and Animate Dead is also not an artifact. So there we are. And they've only used the library once, so it's not like they've got a ton of value out of the card, but it is a very powerful card. Grave Titan, not a problem. Not a problem for us. Well, maybe it is, but... let's do Homage, because if... I mean, technically you should just always do Homage. Unless it's like you're only out to win and you're hoping they misclick. But usually you assume your opponent's not going to be the one misplaying. Here we go. So we have no artifact, so Golgari Signet into play just gets more mana for us. We can animate dead Gonti, we can animate dead Wormcoil or Inkwell Leviathan, and we can definitely equip Jite to our worm here. Just to get that, just to get those counters on it. Bring to Light, what does that get? Leovold or something? Alright, kill both of their zombie tokens. And And I want to go with the sure thing here. I want to go with Worm Coil Engine. Did I leave enough to do all of this? I think I just about did. And that's called Animate Dead Worm Coil Engine. So a single removal spell doesn't give them a Grave Titan attack. And shred their hand to pieces. All of this has been out of order, but Shriekmaw, Vampire Nighthawk. Shriekmaw doesn't kill artifact creatures, so that basically did nothing. And now we don't know about their last card. Great. So far, so good. Let's see. You sacrifice the creature when Animate Dead leaves, and when it dies, you sacrifice. It dies anyway. So, yeah, it's gonna be hard to lose this one. They just want their zombies, so we'll trade here. Do we want to gain 3 life while we're at it? Yeah, I'll give them the option here. Gain 8 life. Oh, they're killing our lifelink thing. Well, oh, that has Death Touch. I messed up a little bit, playing a little too quickly. The life is nice. Have to admit that. And then we want Homage. Draw some cards. And what does Bring to Light get us? Interestingly, it gets us anything because it can get us Demonic Tutor. And that could get something to equip to a worm. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a good turn. Because the GTA can start pressuring these rats. As soon as they go to activate the rat. And let's just start with a Leovold. And equip to our lifelink worm. Fetch, why not? And have at them. I don't see a big reason to attack with both here. But what we'll do is use this to pump the... Oh, yeah, order's fine. Use this to pump the creature it's on. Make sure the damage goes through. And then we may have to use 2 of these now. So we remove 1 to kill Backrat. Umezawa's GTA is nuts. It's like a mobile planeswalker. So now they go to make another copy. So the easiest way to do this would be to put another -1/-1 there. The copy comes in, and we kill the copy before they get to untap and draw. Packrat, the annoying little beast. Got him. There. No cards in their hand, anything in one of anything in our hand, and our board is just ridiculous. So sounds good to me. Now they're going to vote for Carnage, but no thanks. We draw the tutor anyway. Okay, do we win here? I don't think we win. But that's not going to stop me from trying. Let's see what we can dig up here. Vraska. We get 3 more damage in or something like that if we do Sword. And let's get greedy. I just want to use my workshop mana. That's the real reason. Where to put it? Let's put it on the looter. It's 12, 13 damage. We gain 2. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, this does 1 extra damage to them for their hand size, and we gain 2 life for our hand size, plus all the lifelink. The stack is full of nonsense. their best chance here is to like survive somehow and then force us to mill ourselves from coercive portal and looters. Discard a card, no problem. And let's hope their top deck isn't a real miracle. Game 1. Do we have anything against this? Apparently not. Apparently our sideboard is terrible. And that will happen. Oh wow. Sometimes it just doesn't leave the hidden cards hidden. But this time it did. Bravo. Maybe that's something that disappears in leagues but is fine in these single elimination tournaments. Another advantage of the old ways. Yeah, our sideboard's pretty bad, isn't it? So submit. And let's try this again. Not as an explosive of a start, but fine. We've got our duress and a turn 2 signet into a turn 3 Leovold. He's ready to deal. Cool. Do we really want to go nuts here? Probably. We don't need blue. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a regular swamp here. Doesn't matter to me. Hero's Downfall doesn't do anything. I'll take Reanimate, I guess. This pack rat's gonna be annoying, and Downfall doesn't do much to us. Keep track of what they play after this. Funny they didn't play the Putrid Imp, but that's one they can discard to pack rat. Great. We could start Winter Orb. Yeah, we could, but let's not. Instead, let's do the Simic Signet, and that makes Leovold pretty easy to get down next turn. Here they come. 1 damage is fine here for them. 2 is also fine, because they could just do the activation on our turn. This makes more sense in case we have like a -1/-1 effect at instant speed, some such. Okay. Right, so they discarded that and played a land. The only thing we know about is Hero's Downfall. Leovold's a thing. We could play Leovold, and that stops their attacks for a short bit, unless they want to use Hero's Downfall, but that's also fine. The other thing we could do is play Coercive Portal and start drawing a bunch, and then leave Leovold plus Signet plus Winter Orb, possibly, for the next turn. Let's see, 5, 4... Maybe that's not enough to get the Winter Orb out there as well. Yeah, it's not quite. Need one more. So tell you what, let's just get Leovold into play and force their hand here, making sure to leave up the right mana. That's Leovold mana, if I've ever seen it. Your move. So I'm ready to trade Leovold for one of these rats. Possibly the real one, because they don't have Reanimate, and yeah, it's not a big deal either way. They discarded Shield Dread, so if they have Reanimate, that's what they're going to bring back for sure. And no land here. That's a little rough. I will admit it. And we do have the colors here. We could just kill the pack rats now with Bring to Light. Decks are hard because you have to know your options to play it well. Actually, let's wait on that. Let's just wait on that. Oh, this is going to be good. As long as we don't lose our green mana somehow, this Coercive Portal should be better. We'll take a hit of 6 here. But I'm getting nice and greedy. Yeah, use that Pack Rat again. Do you see the play? Who sees the play? What do we bring to light for? We do take like 9 more damage this way, but it should be okay. Homage. I don't actually want to lose everything, so here we go. Scalding Tarn. Oh, we can do it all, can't we? 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just gonna get our Watery Grave tapped. Oh no, nah, that messed up. I wanted to use Winter Orb too, but we can't. Pay 1. Believe me, I'm trying. And then, I should have gotten an untapped land. Too greedy there, too quick. But should be okay. I mean, this lets us untap all of our lands next turn, so maybe that'll be good enough. We go Toxic Deluge. Yes. Paying 3 life, no reason to go nuts. And that should kill all Pack Rats. And leave us at 4. No Grave Titan, please. But yeah, they went through a couple of their own mana. Homage, please. Hopefully it's still in the same spot as I'm clicking it as fast as can be there. Now what? Now we don't really want to use the orb. 8. Wow, can't even cast the Leviathan. What's the point of ramping if you can't enjoy it? 8, and then Tar Pit, another tapped land. But play that. Jace can get out there. Maybe we start Fate Sealing them. Tick up Jace, and then... Yeah, I mean, if there's something we can't beat on top, let's assume they don't have another land here. No, turn 6, yeah, maybe they do. Brain Maggot, put it on the bottom. I would say no. Let's leave them Brain Maggot, because they can grab the Leviathan, but then we can use Jace to bounce back the Maggot and then tap out for a Leviathan. Oh, of course, Hero's Downfall. Well, you do what you can. You play around what you can, especially the cards you already know about. So I guess it was just possibly better to just brainstorm there, but we did see that there's no immediate threat, so maybe that's good. Now we don't have an Inkwell Leviathan. Awkward. Homage, we'll find something. Surely we'll find something. Yeah, like the best 2 cards in our deck. That's something. I'm not even sure what this gets exactly. Too many good options. What does it get? Why don't we get our own bribery so they can't use it against us? Or an Animate Dead for Shieldred. That might be even better. or some way to gain life. Yeah, let's get the animate dead. Can't use it now. Could have possibly... This was a turn where we could have definitely sequenced it a bit better. And the optimal play is just too hard to find. However, all of this is fine. And this is, yeah, then we can just drive it home here. Homage, we draw another couple cards. We keep them tapped down so they only have, 2 or 3 mana next turn max. And we gain some life here. Very cool. We can even get back our Worm Coil if Shieldred survives. Why don't we attack with the Tar Pit? No, we don't need to. We're going to use our artifacts for mana this turn, and Winter Orb, so... Great. First, animate dead Shieldred. Yep, that's a Shieldred. Second, Winter Orb. Good luck. So we each only get to untap 1 land per turn. And they don't want us to get back our Leviathan. Nice. That is cube at its finest. In the second round with a not great hand, but when you're playing 15 lands, well, there's a lot of mulligans. And in more powerful formats, it's just more reasonable to take a mulligan. Like, this hand is also mulligan worthy. I think we have to go to 5 here. I guess this is a bit better. Keep and... I mean, it has what we need except like a good threat. So we don't need Watery Grave. Oh no, Fast Bond with the fast deck. See if this is the actual Crucible deck. We can't repeal that yet. And they didn't try going off turn 1, so who knows? Who knows, that just saves them a land there. But they're going off turn 2. Okay, weird. And what do we do? Expose our Simic Signet to some kind of thing. We could have repealed Fast Bond there. That doesn't really do much. I guess they're just out of land here. Nice. We're not in much better shape, to be fair. And I still don't want to repeal Fast Bond. Maybe we can repeal it in response to something. Harmonize. Pretty good. Tell you what, I'm going to repeal Fast Bond here, because if they draw 2 lands in a channel or something, then that could get ridiculous. Not bad. Not quite to the point of them having to discard. Demonic Tutor. We only have 1 black source here. We could use Demonic Tutor to get a black source. I'm not sure if that's tier 1 plays, but let's just decide later. Ashiok. Because there can't be much better than starting to go with Ashiok here. Wow, we get Noble Hierarch and Sun Titan. Funny one to see, just a sort of zoo deck. Fast Bond coming back out, so this is a scary bit here. And they're playing their lands, they're playing a bunch of them. This is exile, so we exiled 1 land and 2 creatures. And we are starting to see more of their sources. Oh, tell you what we tutor for. Bribery, although we don't have quite enough to play it at the same time. We could get a Noble out. I think we just want to exile more. Tooth and Nail, that's a nice one to hit. Just a couple more lands, which aren't so good. Yeah, maybe we just get the Bribery this turn. Demonic Tutor for bribery. And it's not ridiculous that they just don't have it. Will we have enough next turn if we tap one down? Maybe not. We'd have to draw land, so I'm just not going to worry about Winter Orb yet. Something kind of big. Planeswalkers are scary. So are creatures at this point. We don't really have removal for either type. Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, Sun Titan doesn't have much to get back at this point, but we could certainly bring in a Sun Titan to block their stuff. Ooh, a Mana Crypt. The 0 mana Soul Ring. If you don't care about your life total. But Cube does lead to a lot of people dying off their own Mana Crypt. That is for sure. Now we could get back in our Sun Titan, but we definitely don't want to plus Ashiok before taking a look at their deck. 5. Let's go for bribery here. And let's take a look at that deck. What do they have? Are they going to try to draw here first with Elder? That's reasonable, because sacrificing Elder, they get to thin their deck and then draw the top card, so it has a small chance of protecting, you know, the juicy target of bribery. Time to think. Yeah. What do they get? Revealed cards here. One of each, and maybe that's the only red they have in their deck. So we'll get to see what cool targets they do have. Ooh, some nice ones here. Terastodon is fun. And Woodfall Primus. Those are the two good options. A sneak attack. What would we do? Goodness gracious. What would we do with a... dismiss all those. They got 2 lands. Try to put this somewhere reasonable. Okay. Terastodon, we could just kill 3 of our own lands and then put out a Winter Orb. Oh, that's so good. Yes. Then again, Bramaz does block some of that. Terastodon could get or Sun Titan could get something back into play. I'm just going to go with Terastodon here. Thinking. Yes, Terastodon's huge. So let's just kill 3 islands. Get an island back. Because that's how that works. I do remember how much Titans cost. Yep, 6. And get that island back. And don't let them untap. So yeah, we get that back. They will have up to, well, 3 mana. Winter Orb, yes. Cool, your move. Which land do you want the most? They say, yeah, that's rough. Welcome to the holiday cube, as they call it when they release it during holidays in years past. A vintage cube makes more sense. So I effectively killed all of their lands and all of mine. But the Sun Titan combo with killing our own lands, ooh, that's so good. Who needs Crucible of Worlds when you just have Sun Titan? They also lose their flip here, which I'll keep track of a bit, losing them 3 life. Wow, 2 lands this turn. That does cost them another life. 3 lands. So Didn't slow them down too much, I guess. Primeval Titan. But now all of their lands are tapped again, so next turn they're back to getting like, 4 mana max. They're also thinning their deck, so maybe not so many more. Untap 1 land, we definitely need access to black. Portal doesn't do everything. Start with some Ashiok nonsense. Ooh, Karn, the new Karn, and a Sakura Tribe Elder. The only target for Animate Dead here is Yavimaya Elder, but that might not be true at the end of this turn. So let's take a quick hit here, and we should just attack with everything, because if they fail to block Terastodon, they lose. Maybe we don't come in with these elephants, because they would put like Bramaz on one of the elephants. They would try to trade Primeval Titan. Nah, this gets them so low here. They chump Terastodon. They block it. No, this works. This is just clearly the right play. Because we can order Bramaz and its token, so they don't get a free chump blocker. Yeah. So I imagine they throw Bramaz in front of Terastodon and the Titans clash. Or they chump block with the Titan and then save Bramaz and end up at 1 life. Those are the options. Then no more fast bond trickery. This is a tough spot for them. Second main, we can see what dies and possibly animate it, because something will not survive this combat. Whether it be our opponent or one of their creatures. Yeah, they're looking at it. Maybe they want their Primeval Titan to live? Okay, they're going for this. And I'm not sure that's the best. But it doesn't matter how we order it. And it puts him at 4. 4 life isn't too bad. Did I tap wrong this turn? No, I didn't tap wrong. I just didn't have the mana to tap. Let's animate our Sun Titan friend again. Cool. And the Sun Titan getting any permanent back. There aren't too many Planeswalkers that gets back, but Ashiok is one of them. And they're at 1 life. Great. So if they misclick and play an extra land here, that would not be ideal for them. Not that they had any more lands. Cool, not that we have a sideboard. I guess finally our sideboard decided to decay into this unplayable mess again. But if we clean that up, we'll see that we have very little in terms of options. With Bring to Light, we can splash any sorcery, instant, or creature that costs 3 or less. Our deck does not add any other color. Game 2. And this is a hand. Oh no, this is a hand. Is this a turn 2 Wormcoil? Something like that. Oh, if only we could activate off this. We could with Urborg. No, that doesn't work that way. It doesn't make 3 black. But the turn 1 play here is still Dimir Signet. Yeah, okay, good. Warning. System error, system crash. You have an extra mana in your mana pool. Yikes. All right, 3, 4, 5. 5 does not equal 6. But so close. Right? Or am I crazy? Can we get 6 here? No, because the Signets net you like -1. So instead of that, let's just play another Signet. And one of our tapped lands. Or we could give them access to black mana to make their tapping a nightmare. Cool. Yep, nice ramp here up to 4, and they got a second green, so it must mean they have the red or second white in their hand, or just a double green card they need to cast. Yeah, there's a red. What is this? Harmonize, giving us a little more time here for our worm coil nonsense. Ooh, worm coil or Ashiok? That is the question. And and a good question it is. Which one to do? Wormcoil is a bit more of a defensive play. They could exile it, like... It'll be hard for them to do enough damage to Ashiok at 5 loyalty. Yeah. Let's get Urborg out there. And then we can... pull one of these. I guess we could have also just gotten Watery Grave in to play tapped. We got our Terastodon. That's going to take a while to ramp up loyalty. They should have put more loyalty manipulation effects in the key. Well, maybe not, but there are a few cards that will add loyalty to your Planeswalkers. Just randomly. They're fun and limited because you never get them and a Planeswalker in the same deck. Alright, plus first. Oh, choose opponent, yep. It does target. Now we get Noble Hierarch. And we can see what else we're exiling here. Garruk, 0 mana Soul Ring, and Lightning Greaves. Okay. So add 3 here for the Signet. And this should be enough. 1, 2. Yeah, we only had 1 we could add for that. And that is 6 for Wormcoil. You know what? I will play around Mana Tithe here. There's no way that on Earth they have Mana Tithe. We probably have it in our pool or something, but there's no reason not to play around it. Will we need the life and the mana next turn from Watery Grave? That's so unlikely. Cool. We don't get to, well, we do get to see what lands they get, probably red-white, depending on what they have. Just white-white, so maybe they have the second red already. Cool. Close this over here, give us some more room now that we're interested in all of this nonsense. Shoot, what did they just play? They did play a Plains. Through the Breach, are we dead? What could this be? Like, Emrakul doesn't kill us. Primus does kill Ashiok. Yeah, Primus isn't too bad. And, well, it's pretty bad because they have to sacrifice it, right? Not exile it. And then with Persist it comes back as a 5/5. Not too bad. They get 6 in on us, and then they'll have a 5/5 to block our Wormcoil, which just isn't that great. And some of these effects kill artifacts, lands, or enchantments. This one kills non-creature permanents, so it misses Wormcoil Engine. A little annoying for them. But yeah, it just can't be right to block here. No way. And they kill, I don't know, the Workshop or our green source, even though we have redundant green sources. Maybe Urborg, but that's less likely. Probably Tar Pit or Workshop. Or if they're afraid of the double green and Winter Orb, they could go after one of our green signets. Yeah, they go for the tar pit, which is fair. Bring to light. What does that get us? I mean, it gets us a ton of options. Bring to light Demonic Tutor. That's my favorite. War and Peace doesn't do it. Umezawa's Jite is pretty good. And Bribery's good, but we can't get Bribery, so we'd Bring to Light for Demonic for Bribery. That's the wicked technology that we could do. We can't really equip anything this turn. Anyway, first things first, let's get in there with a Wormcoil Engine. Very nice. Maybe we should just get Maze of It. That'd be too funny. Okay. I do want to use this. There's no green force spike, so let's just go nuts. Bring to light, and you don't have to tap for exact colors. You can just tap, you can over tap for it. And I want Demonic Tutor to get something better than 3 mana. I want to get 5 mana. Oh, we should get Winter Orb. No, no, no. Bribery is better. Unclear if that's true, but Bribery is a lot more fun. Okay, we know they have a Plains. I just want to clean up the board here a little bit. I love that they can't see what it is. No revealing for a couple of these tutor effects that just let you get any card. Yep, they play the Plains anyway, so 7 unknowns in hand. Maybe it was right to get the whatchamacallit. We might miss completely on Bribery. We already lost Terastodon. Oh, I really wanted Sun Titan, because that would get our Ashiok back. We'll just have to deal. Sometimes you just have to deal. What are they getting? Elder, or I guess they're both Elders. The Tribe Elder or the Yavimaya Elder. And they're getting the Tribe Elder. That's kind of cool. Wormcoil doesn't have Trample. Oh dear. One tricky play we could make is Toxic Deluge -1 and then guarantee to get 5 life. I don't know what Soul Ring does here. What does Soul Ring do here? Well, I just told you I didn't know. Oh well, might as well cast it. And then use its mana. Okay. And one more here. Urborg's usually safe. And let's go nuts. Hopefully they have something good left. And it might even... they're like, no, not my best card. We got Emrakul. That's... well, hate to say it, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Troll them and get Fiend Hunter. Yep. And sure. There's no point in attacking with Wormcoil Engine because I just... the obvious play there is just they sacrifice this, and if they somehow deal with the Aeon's Torn, then they'll have a free attack with Sun Titan to get it back, and they can do that forever. Goodness. That is a spicy little card we didn't see last time. They just didn't get up to quite enough mana to cast it. I should have... what you do there is take a screenshot of their deck, and that's one thing you can't really do in live Magic. You could, you take your phone out or whatever, but that's just not legal. But online it's so easy, and they can't really stop you from doing that. Otherwise, you'd be there with your pen and paper writing it all down and wasting a bunch of their time. So this is better for everyone. But I didn't do it, so I don't know what they have going on. Only a vague impression. Karn liberated. Did they have both Karns, or was it our last opponent who had a mini Karn? Don't deal with Emrakul. There are some things that do it. Xenagos is not one. Karn is one, but not yet. If they somehow get enough mana here and draw a card, then we're in trouble, but it doesn't look like they're even close. 6, we're not out of the woods yet. They sacrifice 6 permanents. So they sack 6 lands. They'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7. We'll have to use Deluge to like clean up the creatures after we attack. They don't know about Deluge, so to stop them from doing Karn, we'll have to really mess them up. Annihilator, where is this? Annihilator 6. It doesn't even give you, it doesn't even tell you what that means. It's so funny. I know what it means, but I was sort of checking the wording, because if you attack their Planeswalker, you know, they are still the defending player, so the Annihilator trigger still goes off. But some things are weird like that. The best example of a weird one is Myr Battlesphere. They reworded that now, so if you attack the Planeswalker with Myr Battlesphere, it can only do the damage to the Planeswalker, and if you attack the player, you can't redirect that damage to the Planeswalker. So with the new Planeswalker damage rules, some of these older cards have also changed slightly, but it shouldn't affect Annihilator. All right, I mean, they're trying to find out, like, there's a lot of permutations for them too, so they're trying to find out like what exactly they could draw to make this decent. And some of this is like, you get more familiar with the cube, you know what's possible. I don't think there's any way they could punish us blocking with Emrakul in these colors. So I will just block with Emrakul here so they don't trade off with Wormcoil. Not that that would be so bad. But who knows? Sorcery, you know, exile target creature that took damage this turn or something. But yeah, there's just so many cards in the cube, and I don't think that's one of them. Oh, weird. If they sacrifice the Elder, then Karn is no longer on top, unless they're really lucky. They will get like 3 more looks. Well, 2 more looks. And only 13 cards in the deck, so... Oh no! And yeah, they can't do it in the other order because the trigger goes on after this goes on. Oh, it's you may, so they can just not search at all. But they are searching. It's a funny one. Not quite enough mana. Oh, it is enough mana here if they play their Mountain or use Xenagos. Wow. Oh no. What are they revoking? Sol Ring? Emrakul? No more privileges, Emrakul, although it doesn't stop triggered abilities. Shoot. Name an on-land card. So they could name one of our mana sources as long as it's not a land. Weird. But they can also go off with Sneak Attack here. Oh, they don't have it in their hand. All right, I'm Going nuts. Repeal's pretty good. They chose Emrakul. Activated abilities. Oh well. They did choose Emrakul. How do we play this? We could Toxic Deluge for 2. Oh, wait. We just attack with Emrakul, and they're dead. We can attack Xenagos too. Yeah, you know, sometimes 15 power is enough to kill your opponent. Sometimes it's not quite enough, but it is enough when they're at 15. Oh, don't do it. Don't. Oh, they're just sacrificing. Vintage Cube is the great teacher about all of these obscure abilities and interactions. All right, pass into damage and pass into the finals, if they let us. Awesome. Here we are, Riff Max in the final, and we'll play first. Oh no. This is a little awkward because, well, let's zoom in on things a bit. We can do some things, workshop into GT, into Island, but what does that do? Not enough. Let's mulligan and see if we can find something a little more substantial. This should do it. They're also down to 6. The Scry might help. Toxic Deluge. Without knowing what we're up against, I'm just going to put that on the bottom. We'll know fairly soon if this is the aggro deck, and that's something we'll regret. It also lets us just crack Bloodstained Mire. Hold on, I think we go for Scalding Tarn here to get blue-black. White or red, if we dodge those colors. Okay, another big green deck. Not too worried about that. So Watery Grave tapped. Maybe we should have gotten blue-green there. But we'll have the Golgari Signet, as long as that doesn't die to some weird spell. Some weird green artifact hate. Unlikely to be this turn. This turn they just tick up their Tree Speaker hero to add 2 mana. Maybe tap for another elf. Or 2. Explosive start. And Jiraga Tree Speaker does tend to be like the best 1 mana accelerant in the deck. Animate Dead, that just does nothing here. But we're pretty close to bringing something to light. Now, what would that be? Unfortunately, we can't make 5 mana. Bring to Light Bribery would be absurd. We already have Animate Dead, and it has no targets. We could... Ashiok's not in it. Hymn to Turok? Or just Demonic Tutor again. Demonic Tutor into Bribery. Classic, effective. We'll see what Eldrazi they have. Windswept Heath getting cracked here. Big white green. So this is like Mirari's Wake and Elish Norn. Those are the big cards we'll worry about here. Armageddon. It's an even trade, but it doesn't feel even. Oh, coming in for 1. It hurts. It does hurt. Can someone just mill a creature, please? Armageddon. I'm glad that isn't so painful for us. They've got 3 mana here for Crucible. That makes a lot more sense. Getting Windswept Heath. Shoot. Maze is not something I want yet. Once they get their first big threat out, that'll be good. We're pretty dead once they get Strip Mine or something to combo off. But if we can get Coercive Portal in before that, and they don't have Fast Bond, so they don't have the full combo. It's still going to be pretty bad. Like, yeah, that's pretty bad for us. Don't kill the Signet, no. No. That would have added black for the Strix. Oh well. Nothing else to do but play Maze of Ith and reduce them to 1 damage a turn, possibly. Hopefully they don't start flickering the slime. This is when the games can last a while. It's when one deck isn't designed to win so much as like lock the opponent out. And it might take them a while to draw their like one big kill condition. Well, that's a pretty big kill condition, a 3/3 beast every turn. And they don't need to attack here, but they might as well. Okay. They're not one to waste time. Green, I would have preferred black. Trading with the acidic slime and then getting it back with Animate Dead. That's one way to bring ourselves out of this. Wall of Roots. Birds. Guy's Cradle coming soon, no doubt. And they are going for it. So we'll take, what, 3 here? Get lost, beast. Workshop. That'll do. Portal, and I'll vote for Carnage every time, I think. Even though drawing cards is fine. Are we dead here? We're not dead here. We could be dead here, but we're taking 6. I love Wall of Roots. It doesn't have -1/-1 counters, because that would be silly. What's a negative power? It has -0/-1 counters. Very nice. So they don't annihilate with 1/1 counters? Oh well, Survival of the Fittest. So this is a turn where they can get any creature in their deck if they have a creature in their hand. Yeah, they do. Wait, what did they do? Discard a creature card. But they didn't discard a creature card? Oh. They discarded Progenitus. Can they discard Progenitus and find it with this? I think they can. It's like, what? And Protection from Everything also gives protection from Maze of Ith. Very few things are protected from Maze of Ith. Well, Hexproof works too. And they get Den Protector. So we'll still try to take less damage here. Just 5 doesn't hurt so bad. Maybe we'll be okay. A Morph, that's our Den Protector. And, yeah, I'll vote Carnage. This is our upkeep, so we could draw black if there's Carnage. Destroy all non-land permanents. Do we win that game? Yeah, probably, so... Carnage time. Nope, they want us to draw a card. And fair enough. And... show them more of what we have. They do know we have black. We're just dead next turn. Ashiok's not going to do anything. There's no creatures to bring back. We'll take a look at our top card. We can't use Bring to Light. There it is. Is that an artifact? No, so we'll give them the win here. And they reveal that that was, in fact, the Den Protector. Oops, don't want the chat out here. I want my secret hidden zone to put away these cards. Okay, they got the jump on us, but our deck's powerful, and we'll get the jump on them this time. We'll get our duress out there. We have very little to do on turn 1, unless we have this soul ring or duress and a black source. And the soul ring gives us a lot to do on turn 1 because that opens up this whole mess. On the play, that should help. What about this hand? Sword of War and Peace, not the best sword. I guess I'll keep this. We can repeal an early elf of some kind. It's got all our colors. And yeah, they like their hand too. Get our blue-black from Catacombs. Mana Vault. Not bad. We'll just repeal that unless we draw something really enticing. Winter Orb. Get back there. Doesn't even slow them down that much. But it might put them off of like double green or something here. Oh, Guy's Cradle, yeah. Hymn to Turok. This keeps getting better and better. Shred their hand up. Get 2 creatures. Whoa, we get Progenitus and Ulamog. All right. Okay. I would have rather gotten the early creatures, I think, but hey, it's something we can animate dead. Magic the Gathering, turning nouns into verbs since 1993. Okay, so they have 4 mana, at least. 5 if they... oh, shoot! Giving them the Guy's Cradle, they have 5 mana. This can also tap for just black. Maybe they don't realize it without checking. It is more likely that they miss it in like live Magic or something, but I don't know. Because online you can just see what it taps for. And they say, why does it tap for that mana? But, okay. What does our next turn look like? I guess it's just dropping Sword of War and Peace and hoping for the best. Hoping to draw a creature at some point. After that, we'll be able to bring to light for anything 3 or less, so Leovold looks good. Walking Ballista for 1. Tree Speaker, add 2. And then... oh. That's quite nice. But they miss out on Tree Speaker's level this turn. Doesn't matter too much. Well, there's Leovold to begin with. Sure. Leovold to play. They have just infinite mana this turn, so good thing they don't have Ulamog as well. Leaving that tapped 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana this turn. At least, well, let's see, 4. 2 of it to level, so still 4. And 7 or 8, depending if they can use the 3 to cast a creature here. Don't do it. Don't kill our stuff. We've met our match in this one. Just a big Everflowing Chalice and 1 card left, so they might just not have much to do with it. Certainly they can tick up the Ballista. But if they're going to use all of that to kill Leovold, we draw 3 cards off it. Wormcoil Engine is pretty good. And then bring to light. Our options are to try to equip sword here, and then they could waste ballista having us draw cards. That sounds like... Hey, that sounds like fun to me. Get on there. So attack for 6. Oh, they're doing it. Yes. Draw me some cards. And it does kill the ballista. So a clean 4 for 1 there. It does waste our turn, but what can you do? Forcing that is too important, and next turn we could be doing all right. It really just depends on if they draw a big threat. If they draw a big threat, we don't have a whole lot we can do about it. Bring to Light, unfortunately, can't get Animate Dead. For 7 mana it does, because it gets Demonic Tutor Animate Dead. Ulamog, that would be a nice little combination play. So maybe we wait till 7. On 6 we'll do Wormcoil, on 7 we Bring to Light, and then Ulamog. If we can survive that long, it just... Armageddon. No! No, why? Why did they have it? And we don't have much to fetch here. Oh, but we might have time. Let's see, 4, 4, 4. We've got 4 turns. I think we have another swamp to get with the mire. 14 life. And they don't have any... Well, they do have... They kind of have green here. They have a lot of mana here, actually. But no cards in hand. Yeah, so we're not too far away from getting Ulamog into play. Thank goodness for all the extra cards we drew off the Ballista and Leovold. Wall of Roots. Funny that they want to play that, but I guess it's an extra green source for a bit. And doesn't slow them down much. Our last swamp. I didn't check. Good thing we had it. And we can just Animate Dead now. Oh, let's do it. Ulamog, yeah, that has to be it. Just cross your fingers. Hope they don't have enchantment removal this turn. Well, and next turn. Yeah, they killed 6 lands with an Armageddon, 6 of our lands, or something like that. And 2 turns later, we have an Ulamog in play that we can equip with Sword of War and Peace. You have to be careful because we don't want to give our Ulamog protection from black. Bribery. Demonic Tutor. Soul Ring is kind of cool, but then we don't get to equip. Demonic Tutor for land doesn't do much. Oh, no. I was going to say Demonic Tutor for workshops, but that doesn't do it here either. Gaining the life might help. It does give it protection from white, which may be relevant. So let's just do this. Mainly, we just have to attack with it one more time, and then we can mill half their deck. What's its name never gets milled. But we didn't hit that apparently. Oh, it exiles them. So of course, yeah. So even if we get Progenitus, it just exiles it. It doesn't shuffle it back in. Cool. And what did we hit? We hit another Ulamog. The original Ulamog. Manglehorn. Acidic Slime, which is a nice one to hit because that kills Animate Dead, and we have to sacrifice Ulamog. All right. It all comes down to this. I do want to take a look at what they have. And you can look too, here. Strip Mine, Crucible. So that's kind of the combo, but they don't have... I haven't seen a way yet for them to play multiple lands a turn, and they certainly don't have Fast Bond. Natural Order, that's a quick way to get out an early thing, but it doesn't get out non-green creatures. Mox Sapphire is a nice pull. You see they have no blue in their whole deck, but these are still just first picks. Manglehorn. Cute. I don't want to run into Manglehorn. I do want to bribery their deck as soon as possible, and hopefully they don't just come out under us, because there's not much we can do about that. They are ready to go. What can we do here? I like seeing a Mishra's Workshop early, and I like seeing Toxic Deluge. I like this whole hand. We might try to get Ashiok on turn 3, so skip the Workshop, but that also depends on what we draw. Ooh, the Mox Sapphire start. This is scary. Into Chalice. Bribery. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to play that. I wanted to play Watery Grave. That's alright. We can get Misty Rainforest, so it's not too bad. What do they have here? 4 mana for something? Probably a lot of options. Wait, were they stopped on their upkeep or draw or something? Who knows? Was it a miracle that we don't know about? Wall of Roots, fair, fair. A little more ramp, so first 2 turns ramping, and you see how much they have out in play already. Wait till the end step here, because maybe they have more sorcery land removal. Like, we don't want to do that before they play their land, because then they could strip mine and get us. They could still do that, heck, but Tropical Island gets what we need. And then what? They're just going to use Armageddon on us next turn, and it's going to hurt. So to protect against that slightly, I'm going to leave Watery Grave back. And if they don't Armageddon here, it's Ashiok time. Okay, no Strip Mine yet. It's so scary playing against this deck. Ouch, Acidic Slime grabbing one of our lands, I imagine. Not a bad land either. Okay. You don't usually think of white-green land destruction, but this is definitely it. This is as much land destruction as you could ever want. And none of our artifact ramp. We have some. We just don't have it yet. Oh, this is great. Him to Turok them, gets their last 2 cards. Hopefully they're giant monsters that we can animate. No, they're lands. Of course they are. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. It does mean their Armageddon's worse because they can't deploy more lands right away. But I would have liked to grab a big creature. Come on, something to do. Duress is not it. We actually can't do anything here. Animate has no targets. Duress has no targets. Deluge, not enough mana. Pass it back. The good news is they don't have much to do. 8, and they only have 8 mana, so if they draw their 10-drop, they are still not quite there. Land. Signet. Signet will play. So we have 3 for non-artifacts, and that could mean using Toxic Deluge for 4. Or getting Ashiok out. It's got to be Ashiok. Come on, Ashiok. Time to exile our opponent's deck. Oh goodness, this exile zone. All right, what do we get? Manglehorn and Arbor Elf. Yeah, that's fine. And it's just so hard to pressure Ashiok. They have 2 damage in play. They may have drawn a land there. And they're going after Ashiok now, so that makes Toxic Deluge better, since we won't have to go as low. Alright, do we want to bring Manglehorn into play? That just depends on what we see. Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tough turn here. No, we probably want to keep plussing. It also depends on what we see in their hand. Okay, so we'll take a look at their hand. It's Karakas. So Bribery, ooh, that's a good one to know about, because Bribery makes things interesting because of that. And then let's take a look at what else we get. We get Draga Tree Speaker, some more ramp that they're not necessarily interested in. And here we will just deluge for... Oh, no! I pressed the wrong thing! Oh, no! Alright, keep your head together. We'll have Bribery next turn, maybe. Oh, that's not good. And they wasteland something. Watery Grave. Ooh. This game would have been so easy if we got that off. Maze of Ith. I guess that helps. Keep chugging away. It would have been, you know what? It would have been too easy if we killed all their creatures. Now it's a more interesting game. 7, 8, 9. It's only 9, so their 10 drops are still... Well, Karakas lets them cast a 10 drop here. Oh, don't do it. We can maze this guy. Oh, I cannot believe that. Misclicks or something. Okay. We still don't have Bribery, do we? And we got Ulamog. Do we just want to get them here? Just keep plussing this. I think we just keep plussing. What else do we get? Jade Light Ranger, not one I like in cube. Den Protector, much better. Workshop does nothing, and it's still just 4 and no targets for Animate Dead. So, let's continue. Alright, don't draw a big thing. The other Ulamog's 11 mana, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're still at 10 mana, but we don't know either card in their hand. Oh, Armageddon. Yep, that's bad for us. And we don't want to crack Bloodstained Mire. and they'll get one hit in on Ashiok. However, we can bring in something like Jade Light Ranger or Manglehorn to slow them down again. Right. Doesn't slow them down too awfully much. Make sure we don't misclick this, because we have to select a number again. Yeah, we definitely want Manglehorn. 3 for Manglehorn. Click on Manglehorn and kill. Doesn't really matter which one. I guess we'll go with Mox Sapphire. Use the ability and equip this guy with the Jite. Perfect. Yeah, this does make a more interesting game. So hopefully they don't have removal here for Manglehorn. And if they attack it, that's great. We want end combat now because we can kill off the Birds of Paradise. Right here we get the triggers. -1 counter here. And good deal. And now we can really finish things off because we animate dead the acidic slime or the Manglehorn. Probably the Manglehorn, actually. That's close. Keep exiling their stuff, because at this point Ashiok could just kill them. They don't have much left in their deck. Animate. I like the slime a bit better. Sure, artifacts can come in untapped, but the slime can attack past Wall of Roots. Yes! Rock on. Alright, going back there real quick. That's how you do it. Did we get Progenitus? It's not one they could have brought in. So their Armageddon kind of defeated them here. I wish they could show us their hand to see what giant monsters they have about. We get both Ulamogs, though. Ashiok. They should have hired Ashiok to defeat the Eldrazi, because look at them go.